Hello friends, welcome back to Booty's Emporium and of course my messy desk. Now today we've got the the lace journal walkthrough. I've gone for a theme that's dark, Gothic kind of looking thing, so it's a bit different from a lot of the lace journals, you know, the pretty Victorian lace journals, which I also love. But I thought I'd just give you a flip through of this particular one that I've made. So as you can see, I've made it quite Gothic looking. I've embossed some leather on the top there. I'm not sure if it's coming up very well for you, but hopefully it is. And hung a little chain with a picture of a vintage angel that's on top of a, you know, that you'll find in a cemetery and so on. Some nice vintage lace. On the spine I've put some Czechoslovakian crystals in the theme of the red and the black and the glitter. And I've made some spooky ephemera. There's an eyeball, and if you look on sideways you'll see a teardrop coming off it. A witch's finger I made in polymer clay. Ew, creepy. And we're also showing you some nice vintage ephemera, and also we're showing you the corpse head with the maggots. So that's kind of creepy, huh? Now what I've also covered it in today is I've covered it with a piece of scarf, and so this fringe naturally is on the scarf, so I've made full use of that today. At the moment I've got the closure as some ribbon, but really this one is quite bulky, and I'm going to think about what kind of closure that I want on that, whether I want, you know, maybe belt and buckle, belly band, chains and padlock or something, and then just have this as, you know, just for decoration. It does look really nice open on a shelf. Now what I've gone and done with this one, if you look close enough you'll see, I wanted this to be a journal because everything has a story behind it for me. I just can't help myself. But with this one I pictured early Victorian, you know, a chap that's or someone that's gathering information, that's been investigating strange occurrences. If you can hear squeaking and stuff outside on this recording, there's other people in the house, so it's still daytime and people are wandering around, so forgive me for that. But yeah, so I wanted it to look very eclectic. I wanted it to look very sort of put together of someone who has started some kind of collection or investigating things, strange occurrences, and started putting together and have added to it as they've gone along. So I wanted a very rough and ready kind of thing, you know. You'll see I've cascaded the signatures, all kinds of things that I've done to make it look in that way. So when we open it at first, you'll see that you'll see that I've got some coffee dyed calico on there. You'll find that it's quite easy to use fabric, especially calico, and it's something it glues very easily with a glue stick onto paper or cardboard, or even onto a book cover, anything like that. So I thought that looked quite effective. Then using a recycled envelope that had been coffee dyed, I made this nice little pocket, and did some layering and a bit of cloth there, and, you know, various bits and pieces, just decorated it up. And we've got a letter in here that has just holding it open with my other hand, you can see that there's got blood spattered letters and things like that in it. So this is something, a bit of evidence perhaps that he's found somewhere. You know, perhaps he's investigating someone that he knows that's behaving very strangely. So we've got nice Gothic creative photography on there. That I found some more letters and things. This is a vintage, or antique actually, tablecloth. It's about 120 years old, handmade, and I got my hands on some of that and I dyed it. So these little easy to make clips, ephemera, on a little bulldog clamp can look very effective. So just use some coffee stained paper. every now and again I've got a decorated page. I haven't done a lot through it because as you can see how bulky it is anyway. I like to use authentic things. This here is a 100-year-old button that I use for some decoration. This is some embossed leather that I did myself, and I made this little pendant type of thing. It's all for effect and rather gorgeous. Little pull-out tag. There's a piece of the scarf. Just stamped up a bit of the coffee stained paper. Again with some vintage photography there. Rather cute. I left this there. This is some paper that I downloaded, you know, digital prints I suppose, and glued them together to make a thicker one so that I could mark pages that I wanted to decorate. I've put some vintage lace on there, some antique lace, and then on this side I have just decorated with various different eclectic things, but I think it looks really, really nice. Again with some of the fabric. I really love the way this looks. I think it looks awesome. Now this here is like a school back in the day when they were teaching people how to be surgeons, you see. So that was quite cool. And I made that into a pocket. So I've glued a couple of them together. I've made little things to go in. There's little secrety things in there. So again, some vintage lace. And away we go. And this is just a stencil that I got that had all different types of corners on it. And it looks quite good. Again, I've utilised a piece of the scarf for just the fringe, some vintage photography, a toe tag, which is kind of cool. And you can use anything really. So I want to finish this off. I'm going to put in little, you know, add little sketches and writing and things like that, as if I am investigating someone. You know, putting down the times that they, you know, perhaps leave the house, or the strangeness of them sleeping through the day and wandering around at night, that kind of thing, you know. So inside here I've made a little frame, and I've put in a picture, and I've covered the back with cloth, and it's a very Dorian Gray-esque kind of thing. There's a little letter in there, another toe tag, some cool bits and pieces. I love these little key, you know, door lock or keyhole surrounds. You can get them off AliExpress, quite good. Here I've just made using a little pendant tray. I found a picture that I like. I've put some the glossy accents, which is, let me show you. This is something that I learnt from Crafts from a Dungeon. She's got a channel on here, you should look her up. And I just cover it with the glossy accents, and it looks like then that it's got glass in front of it. And there's some leather that I embossed, and just put that on as well. Again, use of the tablecloth, some nice paper. This here I utilised an envelope, and I wanted to do an easy flip out, so I had a look at an envelope and I thought, oh, I'm sure that I could do something with that. So I've just opened up the letter. I mean, that's the bit that's normally a triangle, so I've just gone over it with some heavier card and opened up the size of the letter, the envelope I should say, and just made a little flip out. So that's quite handy and quite easy. These are quite good. You get these again off AliExpress, and you can put pictures or whatever in them, but I'm just using them today as a tag. That will also mark that there's a little pocket in there, and there's some antique books, book pages to read in there. As you can see, I haven't decorated every heavy page because I think they're just nice on their own, and of course you want the person who buys it to be able to decorate and add things themselves. Maybe they'd like to continue with the theme. Here's another signature, and I've just done a collage on here. This has got about 3 or 4 layers. Again, some of my embossed leather on there, and so on. I fussy cut out the raven. Just another little flip down that's got a piece from a book. quite cool. It's got little bits and pieces in there. Some vintage Halloween photography. Again, the use of the border maker, the stencil. I made a little wooden frame and just popped it over the face there, just for effect. Some Gapure lace. This here is just the little baby envelopes that make great little tags. Again, I've made some vintage Gothic-y looking ephemera. I printed out a little letter that's been written and folded it and folded it and folded it until it was well and truly worn, like it had been in someone's pocket for many years. All these little things make a difference, you know. Some more Gapure lace. This here is just an old creative picture. As I said, in about the mid-1800s, they were getting into creative photography, and this is just one of them. And underneath is a crazy man looking out the window. This is just an earring that I had lying around, and I just utilised that for effect. I love the old photos, you know. There's a little letter in there that slides in. Here there's some ephemera that I made out of a piece of lace. And again, the same principle with the little pendants. It's a bookmark. Excuse me. Here I've used a poison label as a tag. A little science slide that goes under a microscope. That's a grasshopper's leg. Yeah, a little bit of film, just anything eclectic to put on the page to make it look interesting. You know, imagining that these might have been things, little bits of evidence or something interesting that he's found that he's wanted to put in a book. Scientific drawings of a moth, an unusual moth. Quite a bit of blank pages in there. There's a little book that I've added in just so that so you can have lots of writing and things like that. I was thinking that maybe I'll put lines on throughout that, but we'll see. There's just little final tweakings. And again, this is another envelope. I've cut out the front, but you could use a window envelope. I've put some Gapure lace onto a piece of black card and glued that in, and just used the closing flap as the flip. And there's little letters and things in there as well. So, and there you see the ribbon has been glued into there, but I found with this particular one, if this was not quite so bulky, then I would use a ribbon just to close it and that would be fine. But because it is so bulky and because it does have to close so firmly, that will pull on the ribbon and pull it out. So I will have to I'll create some concept, perhaps chain and a padlock or something that will hold it to that and then do up the ribbons. Or you can just put it on your shelf and just let it open naturally like that, which looks very, very nice. So this will probably go up for sale. And you know, got the raven's head, as I said, and we've got the different bits and pieces that are all jangly and make noise, which I love. And yeah, so there you have it. There's our Gothic looking lace journal. This was inspired by Crafts from the Dungeon and Bonnie and Clive, and they put a challenge to each other to make a lace journal, and they made some beautiful vintage lace journals and so on, and I decided to take up the challenge too, just to have something to do, and went for a darker theme, but lace nonetheless. So I hope that you enjoyed that. I know I haven't uploaded for a while, but it's always a challenge for me with my illness that I try to manage, but I hope that you have enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe, leave any comments, suggestions, anything like that underneath, and we'll see you the next time. Thanks for watching.